So we were just shooting a video about how to clean up messes, and Matie brought up bottom lines. So we wanted to talk more about that. What are bottom lines? How do you know what they are? And should you share them with your partner? This is Hunter Riley, from manager of Self-Serve Toys, and we're in Self-Serve Toys right now filming. Her website is hunterrileysexeducation.com. Matie Fricker from selfservetoys.com.
Yep.
Don't go to self-serve, it's not right.
Nope. No sex toys there. Only selfservetoys.com for the best sex toys in the world.
Yeah, amazing. And all tested.
Yes. Body safe, tested by staff, make sure that we really love them.
Such
so
a
you
tough
can love
job.
them too.
It's really hard.
We do. Sometimes. We take one for the team, actually. Sometimes they're terrible.
And I'm Cathy from TheIntimacyDojo.com. And Matie, can you explain what bottom lines are?
Yeah, like for me, they're deal breakers. There are things where they're actually totally unacceptable. Like, I do not consent to ever be treated this way. And because we come from different backgrounds, different experiences together, it's really easy to, in a relationship, accidentally cross a boundary or do a deal breaker if you don't talk about it. So
my bottom line might be totally different from yours or yours.
And then people think that, everyone should know that, and it's like, no.
In my family, everybody knows that's a deal breaker.
Yeah.
But you had a different family and different experiences.
Yeah, and so for me, I can't actually handle being yelled at. I grew up in a house where there was some yelling. It was scary. There was some alcohol involved. I don't need to be yelled at in a relationship. And so if you scream at me, I'm actually going to end the relationship. That's, and as I'm in a long-term relationship, there might be some flexibility around those boundaries, but really big picture, I don't want to be yelled at. And that one for a lot of people is very surprising.
You present as someone who's very strong and together. So if I got upset, if I didn't know that, I might raise my voice.
Yeah. And if you yell at me, I'm like, bye, this was fun, but I don't.
Oh, I'm so sorry, come back.
Yeah, and that one's a really surprising one for people. Just an outright lie is actually a deal breaker for me, and I'm kind of hardline boundaries about that, and people are really shocked by that. What are yours?
Some of mine are the same thing. People lying to me. I've been lied to a lot in past relationships, and I've been cheated on in past relationships. So and it's hard too, because there are reasons why people might lie that are not super bad, right? They might be like, oh yeah, that thing you made was delicious, But I'm like, really honestly, the pain for me will be so much less intense in my life if I can deal with the pain of somebody being like, yeah, that food you made, it just wasn't really my flavor. I'd be like, oh, okay, good to know, bummer, not a big deal. Versus finding out, hearing you talk about how shitty that food was to somebody else when you told me that you liked it, that pain sticks with me. Yeah. And then I start to get resentful. So even if it's little lies that are seemingly fairly not a big deal, I'm just like, please, because if you're going to lie about little things, I don't know, maybe you lie about big things. Maybe you don't. I don't know. But for me, even small little lies are a big deal breaker. Also, sexual health and safety is a really big thing for me too.
If somebody's
if the condom breaks, please, for the love of God, tell me, and don't just disregard our boundaries because you're getting hot and heavy with somebody and you want to get your bits wet. Please, maintain, because you're putting my sexual health at risk as well too.
Yeah. So you are both very articulate, and I know some of my bottom lines, but sometimes I'm in a new relationship or I'm with someone new, and all of a sudden I realize they hit a bottom line that I didn't know to tell them about. How do you handle that? Because it's I feel kind of shitty sometimes. I'm like, oh, that was my bottom line, goodbye.
Yeah. Right.
But you never told me that wearing purple would do that to you. It's like, I
think that especially the one around yelling, I definitely give people, an opportunity.
But what if they hit one that you didn't know about until they hit it?
Well, I think there are certain things that are non-negotiable that are about my integrity with myself. And so it's not about them, it's about me.
Right.
It's about keeping myself safe. So if somebody was to be physically violent with me.
Yeah.
I
don't have to tell you that.
I don't need to give you a second shot to hit me again, But somebody raised their voice at me when they were angry, that I would probably remove myself from the situation for a period of time. Maybe journal, maybe talk to a friend, maybe figure out why because I trigger, so I wouldn't be rational. I wouldn't be like this lady sitting on the couch being like, well, this is what is important to me. I'm losing my mind and crying. So remove myself from the situation, figure out what self-care looks like in that moment, and then bring back an opportunity to work it out. And I haven't always been that practical. I'm not always that practical. So I might like have a vulnerable moment with somebody, and I think that the moments when things go terribly wrong are sometimes where we find our right, you know? So like if somebody crossed a boundary that they didn't know about, but then they understood and supported and did everything in their power to make sure that this space felt safe in the future, then you can be closer. You can actually like move through that in a way where you feel even better.
So even though hitting the bottom line once, they might be able to clean it up. But hitting it a couple times, like there's no way to go forward.
Yeah. I think for me. What about for you?
Yeah, I'm curious. Like, say people sometimes panic in the moment, even people that are deeper. Like, so if I all of a sudden like you ask me, what did you think of dinner? And I'm like, oh my god, it was great. Like, and I like, okay, Hunter. Like, you know, an hour later, I have to come clean with you. Like, hey, I actually. You're like, oh, I'll make it for you tomorrow night. And I'm like, oh, crap.
Oh, no.
I'm like, Hunter, actually, I don't like that kind of flavor seasoning. I just had to, like, I'm so sorry I lied to you. Like, sometimes you're like, why did I lie? Like, I've done that. I'm like, why am I saying this? Stop. Right. And we have to clean it up. But how would you feel if that...
Well, and so for me, you know, it really just comes down to having a conversation with somebody about why they lied, because oftentimes they do have valid reasons, and it's like, I didn't want to hurt your feelings. You know, like maybe you got in a fight with your mom that day, and me piling that on top wasn't going to be good. You know, and so I've had people who are very close to me who have told me little lies, and then I find out about it, and I'm like, wait, why did you lie to me? And they're like, well, I lied to you because you're already having a really hard day, and I didn't want to pile this on top. And I'm like, I mean, it's annoying, but I also, like, I know, I get why you did it, and I appreciate you for thinking about me in that way, and for trying to keep an eye out for me, but like, let's try not to do that in the future. You know, and so just saying, like, being understanding and being compassionate is important, I think, and you get to decide how much compassion you give, right? You get to decide if you have 5 times worth of compassion, or 4 times, or 3 times, or 2 times. But for me, just having a conversation about why did you do this thing? What were your reasons? Because I think if you're close to somebody and you're in a relationship with them, they're not trying to hurt you. They're not like, I lied to you because I hate you and I think you're stupid. You know, they're like, I lied to you because I was trying to save your feelings. So.
And I think sometimes it depends on, like, if I have a really good relationship with someone and they hit my bottom line, I'm much more likely to say, in the general scheme of my relationship, I really want to clean this up. Whereas someone who I haven't invested very much, or they've hit some other bottom lines, and like, yeah, I don't think I want to continue investing in this.
And sometimes, like, our trauma bumps up with somebody else's trauma. So it's really, I think, important to have a team, you know, and if it's like a coach, if it's a therapist, if it's, you know, a counselor, somebody who does tapping, but something to help you work through your trauma instead of, like, throwing away all of your relationships. But recognizing, like, this is not a safe place for me right now. I need to go get some support.
Love to hear from you. What do you think about bottom lines, and what do you do if someone hits one of yours? Leave comments below.
Thanks.
Congratulations on taking this time for yourself and learning these things. If you'd like to follow more of this, you can subscribe to my channel here. Social media is up here, and there's more videos of this type here. See you soon.